Welcome to the world united. Welcome to the world united.
We now welcome Yogi Protoplasm, head of Yogi Ramatapavanam and Rishi Marga Mission, to speak on
Hari Om. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheswara, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Shri Gurave Namaha. Now this Guru Stotra is repeated in almost every Hindu ashram. There are thousands of ashrams in India. Everywhere they repeat this Guru Stotra in the beginning. You see what it is saying: Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Deva, Mahadeva, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, it says. Sakshat Parabrahma. Well, this is the great discovery of the Upanishad Rishis. Ages ago, the Upanishad Rishis raised these questions as to what life is and what is the purpose of life, what is the diversity we see. Now you see enormous amount of diversity. Where is it from? Who created all this? And for what purpose? Where is it actually? Such fundamental questions they raised. And they also questioned about this I am. Everybody says I am, I am. Now we are talking about unity in diversity. You see this? This I am demonstrates unity in diversity. It is already there. Both unity and diversity. Everybody says I am, all over the world. And yet, there is so much of diversity. Now this was the puzzling problem. Now they did tapas, it seems. Tapas means it is defined as concentrating the energies of the indriyas and the mind. They did that. It is something like modern scientific research. But instead of going outside, they tried to find out who this I am is. And they claim that they have solved the problem. All the questions, fundamental questions they have raised, including this last question, what this I am is, where this is I am, and why is this I am being repeated by all people, what is its true nature, and so on. Now in the Upanishads, in the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad for example, they always talk about this. Yajnavalkya raises this question. How to know the knower? That is the question. And they found a unique truth, a unifying principle. And they called it Satchidananda Parabrahman. This is not a name. It is just descriptive terms. Existence, awareness, and bliss. It seems these are the characteristics of that invisible, infinite being which they have discovered. And they also say that this infinite being is infinite love, infinite power, infinite knowledge, everything infinite about it. And it is everywhere. When I say everywhere, it must be here also, now, with you. And yet, people are unable to recognize this. They still question. This question has been asked ages ago, but even now this question is asked. Now very recently, in 20th century, in Madurai, this happened actually. A 16-year-old boy, he was a high school student, and suddenly he felt that he was going to die. And instead of going to a doctor or an elderly person, he simply wanted to make an experiment. He lied down, closed his eyes, held his breath and said, well, this body has become a corpse. It will be now taken to the burial ground and burnt. All this he visualized mentally, but then he saw the body, his own body, being burned to ashes. And then something happened. The body is burnt, but still he was alive, fully alive. And he was totally different from the body. And this is, I am telling you something intellectually, and you are hearing. You may say, I have understood. This is not understanding. He had an experience, a tremendous experience, whereby he saw that he was a formless, nameless being. He did not know what it was. Anyway, he was so much engrossed in that. From that time onwards, he was transformed to a totally different being. Within a few months, he left everything. He was living with his mother and a small child like any other child, playing and all that, going to school. But suddenly this experience made him give up all this. All this is not me, not concerning me. And he left the place. It was in Madura, in Tamil Nadu, and came to another place called Thiruvannamalai. It's a very ancient pilgrimage center. There is a huge hill there. They call it Arunachala, the Red Hill. And people consider that hill itself as Shiva. And there is a big temple also. And inside the temple, it's a Shiva temple. Now he went inside. Father, I have come at your bidding. He prostrated. And then he remained. Anybody. He was a young boy. And already he has given up his shirt, pant, etc. Just a kaupina he had. He was sitting there. For many days people thought that he was mad. He was not talking with anybody. He was simply staring or closing his eyes. Now later on, he became famous as Ramana Maharshi, Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi. Now what has happened to him? For 50 years, he was teaching that message. He realized what this I am is. I am means it is infinite existence, infinite consciousness, infinite bliss. The bliss is so absorbing that his mind is totally engrossed in that. He was totally unaware of the body. Just as we are now very much aware of the body, he was very much aware of that infinite consciousness. Always see that. It has become natural for him. For 50 years, this is the message he gave. Babu Rajendra Prasad, the president of India, came to him. Saras Radhakrishnan, a great professor, and Nehru, who loved him, admired him, brought him, made him a vice president and president of India. And he was a professor in Oxford University. Such a great philosopher, so much books on philosophy and Upanishads and so on. He came and sat at his feet. And after going back, he wrote a big article. In Bhagavad Gita, in the 2nd chapter, there is a description of Sthita Prajna. And Krishna was an example of Sthita Prajna according to him. He is working, doing, but he says, I am not doing, I am not working. And he made so many marriages, 1,600, 16,000 gopikas he married. And yet he says, I am an Nitya Brahmachari. Now, this is a Sthita Prajna state. He does everything, but he is not doing anything according to him. Now, can we have such a person now, in this 20th century? That is the question raised in that article by R.S. Radhakrishnan. And he says that here is a man who is living like that, and points out about Ramana Maharshi. There was a court case. Somebody, his own disciple, filed a case in the court. And the court was, well, he has appointed somebody as Sarvadhikari, I am senior, I should be appointed, you direct him to appoint me. That was the case. And later on, they thought that they should send a commission to the ashram itself in order to inquire. And 2 advocates came. They questioned him for 2 days. And they asked him, to which ashrama do you belong? And he answered, I belong to Ativarna ashrama. What is this? It is not there in the Hindu tradition. 4 ashramas we have. What is this one? Well, was there anybody previously like you in that ashram? Is there anybody now other than you? And he answers, there was Sukha Maharshi. Rubhu Maharshi was there. I am now here. There may be others also. See what a wonderful answer he is giving. He is comparing himself with Sukha Maharshi and Rubhu Maharshi. Sukha Maharshi means he is a born gnani. By birth, he was aware of this infinite consciousness. That is his speciality. And Rupa Maharshi also is supposed to be like that. And here in 20th century, one amongst us, he passed away only recently in 1950. And he is claiming that he is equal to Sukha Maharshi and all that. Now anyway, and what is his greatness? He was wearing kaupina throughout his life. That was his uniform. Maharajas came to him. Scientists came to him. People from different parts of the world came to him. Why? What is his speciality? He doesn't have any of the attributes which we say is great in modern times. He is not a MA, PhD or anything like that. MA and PhDs have come to him. He is not a judge. Yes, Supreme Court judges have come to me to sit at his feet. And he claimed that he knew about himself. That is the only claim. And he gave the same prescription to everybody. Whoever came to him, educated, uneducated, big or small, rich or poor, he advised, you are saying, who am I? Please find out what that I am is. If you find it out, all your problems will be solved immediately. That is his claim. If you know what this I am is, well, your problems will be solved immediately. Now, anyway, we'll make an experiment. Scientists, my name is protoplasm. I call myself protoplasm, but I tell people that it is not only my name, but your name also. Every one of you is a brother or sister protoplasm. Why? Because you are made of that. You see, here is unity. Now, in spirituality, we give slokas, Bhagavad Gita and Upanishads we quote, and we may say so many things about Satchidananda, Parabrahman and all that. But it is accessible to only a few. In 19th century, whole of 19th century, we hear the name of Ramakrishna Paramsa, Vivekananda, a Trailinga Swami, a Lahiri Mahasaya, a Baba Avatar and so on. A few. Many. Are they not aware of this? And people like Ramana Maharshi claim, everyone is aware. Only he says he is doing the wrong thing. He is identifying himself with the body-mind complex. That is a tragedy. And if he can get out of that particular blunder and can really identify himself with the Chaitanya Shakti, there is an intelligent power that is running in your body. Who is digesting your food? Are you going and digesting? And who is transforming this food to energy and then later on the raw material used for making the skin, muscle, bone, etc.? Can anybody do that? Even now, scientists cannot do that. And this wonderful Chaitanya Shakti in the plants is manufacturing glucose. It combines carbon dioxide and water, and glucose molecule is prepared, which is the basis of the entire food problem in the world. Nobody can synthesize glucose. And glucose is the simplest carbohydrate. If it is transformed, you get all other starches and so on and so forth. All the food materials, carbohydrates I mean, or multiples of glucose molecules. But then you can't prepare it. No scientist is able to prepare it. If you can prepare it, there is no need for going to farms, cultivation, this and that. You can have it with you as it were in the factory. But that's not happening. Who is doing it? And scientists have discovered many interesting things. They have actually demonstrated. They are demonstrating and showing, pointing out that there is a unity behind the diversity. The protoplasm is that. Now the description of the protoplasm they give, you see it is very funny. It is very much like the Brahman's description in the Upanishads. Protoplasm is one, but it is in the many. Not only human beings, animals, insects, everything from micro to macro. Bacteria is made up of protoplasm. Elephant and whale also is made up of protoplasm. What more evidence is necessary for demonstrating this unity and diversity? It is a physical demonstration. And this is being brought out by an atheist, a scientist who says that I don't believe in God. He is demonstrating what God is physically. God is one and the many. One and the many, unity and diversity are two sides of the same coin. Both of them are there. It depends upon how you look at it. If you are at the superconscious level, you will see only one. That is what happens when you go into yogic samadhi state. In the ordinary state of consciousness, you see diversity. Gross diversity in the wakeful condition and subtle diversity in the dream condition. And there are umpteen levels of consciousness. Umpteen, infinite number. And we can actually see that. I don't know whether they could project it. Otherwise, you would see the entire cosmos in that CD in just a few minutes. Somebody has taken that. It is in the internet, it seems. It seems it can be downloaded. Somebody gave me that CD. Now there he shows that. Anyway, now the time is getting right. In 5 minutes we will make an experiment. Scientists make an experiment, thought experiment they call it. Now there is a fellow who reared a cow. And the cow was giving milk. He was selling it and that was his livelihood. But later on, of some years, he gave up all this worldly life and joined an ashram. And the guru there gave him a mantra. He said, you must do japa of this mantra for thousands of times. Whenever he sat for japa, this cow was coming into his mind. He liked this cow so much because he depends on that for his livelihood. And again he tried. Again and again the cow is coming into the mind instead of the japa mantra or the god. Again he ran to the guru. Well, I will tell you a secret. You please follow that and you will get rid of the problem. And the guru said, every object in this world, living or non-living, has got 4 characteristics. 2 of them we know already. That is name and form. Every object in this world has got a name and a form. And 2 more are there. It exists. I am aware of its existence. Here is a watch. It has got a name. It has got a form. It exists. And I am aware of its existence. 4 characteristics. But the 2 others, nobody notices, but it is there if you can recognize it. So, if I see this mic, it has got a name and a form, and it exists, and I am aware of its existence. Existence and awareness. This is what they call in Sanskrit Sat and Chit. Sat means existence. Chit means awareness or consciousness. Now, this table is there, the books are there, and human beings are here, male, female, everyone, forms and names differ, wide variety. But there is a unique unity behind them. There is Sat and Chit, it exists, you are aware of its existence.
The video is working, sir.
Working, very good, I'll tell you just now. So this is it. Now I look at my own body, I've got 5 fingers, each one has got a different name. And it exists. I am aware of its existence. This is different. This is different. Diversity is there, but then Sat and Chit are there everywhere. We don't have so many Sat and Chit, so many existences, consciousnesses. There is no such term. Singular. There is no plural for consciousness. And now I examine all the parts in the body. Everywhere we find Sat and Chit. It exists. I am aware of its existence. And inside also there are organs, kidneys, heart, brain, etc. They exist and we are aware of their existence. And now I go into the mind. So many thoughts are coming, good, bad, neutral. And each one has got a name and a form. Your friend comes into your mind. You say, my friend, I appeared in my mind. Now how do you know? His form and name is there. And now we come at the last to the I am. Body we examine, Sat and Chit everywhere. And mind we examine with every thought and action. We have got this Sat and Chit. Now when you come to the I am, there is no particular form or name for that. Everybody says I am, it has got a different form and name. And yet it has got those 2 other characteristics. It exists and one is aware of its existence. I exist, I am aware of my existence. And this is what I am. So I am means existence and awareness. Only 2 traits. Sat and Chit. And if you can remain as Sat and Chit alone, pure I am, or pure Sat and Chit, you will enjoy peace and happiness. How do I know that? Well, it is everybody's experience. When you go into deep sleep condition, God as Sushupti, there is nobody else. You alone exist. I am alone is there. And when you get up from sleep, you claim that you slept soundly, peacefully, happily. Where is this peace and happiness coming from? You don't have your wife or husband. You don't have children. You don't have your car, bank balance and all those things which you claim will give you happiness. They are not there. Only pure I am is there, Sat and Chit. And the result is you are happy and peaceful. So that is why they say Sat and Chit and Ananda go together. The name is Satchidananda. So your name is Satchidananda, but you forgot about it. You attribute your body to be you, and your name you attribute, they are all coming from outside. Somebody gives you a name, somebody gave you this body. Actually, nobody can give the body. The body starts as a single cell. And in that cell, everything about the body is written down. Written down. See, this is another wonderful demonstration of the scientists. The greatest of the scientists. I would say the scientists are great rishis and yogis. Only they are extroverted Raja yogis. And they are coming to the same truth. For 2000 years they investigated the entire world, external world. And they are coming nearer to the modern physicist, the quantum physics. Man talks in terms of physics. You will wonder whether it is physics or metaphysics he is talking about. Sarvam Shaktimayam Jagat is a Vedantic dictum. But it is now being talked about by the scientist. And the scientist can demonstrate it physically. You can't argue with him. He will throw an atom bomb on you and show, well, this is energy everywhere. Your body is made up of energy. Your thoughts are made up of energy. Energy is everything here, one behind the many. This is a practical demonstration. Everybody can know about this. Everybody can see the manifestation of the avatars of the energy, electromagnetic spectrum, so many avatars. And matter also is an avatar of this energy, they say, point out. So, modern scientist, though he is being derided as non-spiritual and ungodly and so on, God mysteriously is making him demonstrate the very God which he denies. What is God? You are God. You are Satchidananda. And Satchidananda, and if you make it infinite, it will be Paramatma. If you confine it to a single body, it is Jivatma. Now, for example, we go into the sky and look at the sun 15 crore kilometers away. And sun exists. And you are aware of its existence. Sat and Chit is there. Sky is there. It exists, you are aware of its existence. Sat and Chit is there everywhere. And go beyond that. Go into the stars. And then galaxies. All of them, Sat and Chit will be there. So if you can visualize Satchidananda as something spreading over the entire universe, this is Brahman. This is Paramatma. So everybody knows about these things. But then they are searching for the same thing. And they are quarreling, not knowing that they are quarreling with each other about themselves. Each is quarreling with himself. Now there is a hall called Hall of Mirrors. In big temples it is there in South India. And there the God is placed and then they do some functions and all that. One day, unfortunately or fortunately, one dog entered the particular hall. And when the dog saw so many dogs in the mirrors, it thought it is seeing so many others. So it wanted to attack. And when it began shouting, well, the dogs in the mirror also appeared shouting. And then it attacked this mirror, that mirror, and finally it broke its own pace. That is the story. Now the story is same thing. People quarreling for this and that. We are all Indians, for example. Now a big quarrel is going on in Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, Andhra and all that. They say they are different. They belong to the same state. They don't see the unity, but diversity alone they emphasize. So this is the essence. If you see the unity, you will be happy. If you see the diversity, you will be unhappy and your peace will be lost. And there are two sides of the same coin. The choice is yours. You can see the unity or you can see the diversity. And it is there everywhere. For example, I am here. Am I single or many? I am single, it appears. I want a single name, single body, you say. But the scientists tell us that there are billions of cells in the body. And each cell has got a nucleus. And the nucleus has got chromosomes and genes. 30,000 genes are there. And in that, all your story is written down. My voice, my nose, my eyes, everything about me is already written at this unicellular stage. Every one of you is like that. And you can take any one cell and you can culture it and it will become another yogi protoplasm. So if there are billions of cells, how many yogi protoplasms are there in this body? And this is so at all levels. And it depends on consciousness. Now you please put that CD. There is a CD, it seems it is in the internet, anybody can download. And the CD shows different levels of visions. If you see at 10 feet, I see all of you. If I go up 100 kilometers or 1,000 kilometers, I will not see any of these things. I will not see the buildings also. If I go 10,000 or 1,000,000 times higher up, you will see differently. Finally, at the level of 1 lakh kilometers, you will see the entire Earth planet. You don't see the details. And so you go on like that, higher up. The video shows all those pictures. What happens if you go up millions and millions and then trillions of kilometers, and you will find the entire galaxy can be visible. And if you go beyond, empty space and so many galaxies. Oh, yes, please. It's running. Yes, let it run. It will see. You see for yourself the pictures you see there. There are different pictures at different heights. And each height, your consciousness is changing. You are at a different level of consciousness. And the picture also varies. Whether it is the entire galaxy or only some leaves and human beings and all that. So, all the consciousness. And yogis can go and enter into different levels of consciousness. And when they reach the highest, what they call the samadhi state or super conscious state, only one will be visible. Everywhere, consciousness, consciousness everywhere. That is, one becomes the infinite one. That is what they call Sachidananda Parabrahman. We have just now said, now had I asked this question at the beginning, where is this I am? Is it inside or outside? You would have said, well, it is inside, something from within is talking. But after the visleshana, the analysis we have done, now if I ask you, where is this I am? What will be your answer? I am means Sat and Chit. Where is this I am? Is it inside or outside? I am means Sat and Chit. That is what we discovered now. Where is it? Where is this I am? Are you inside or outside? You are everywhere. You are not only outside, you are inside, outside. You are everywhere. And when I say everywhere, where is this everywhere? It is not only in this hall, not only in Hyderabad. It is going beyond. The entire universe it is there. So if you can on the universal, it is universal I am. If you see it only confined to a particular body, it is the individual I am. This is Jivatma, that is Paramatma. So unity in diversity is there always, everywhere. Both are there. It depends on you. And it depends on your level of consciousness. If you are at a high level, you will see the unity definitely. If you are at a very low level, you will see the diversity only. If you see the diversity, you are an ajnani, you are ignorant fool, and you will suffer. You will have unhappiness and peacelessness. If you see the unity, emphasize the unity alone, you will be happy and peaceful. So this is the message of the Upanishad rishis. But now the modern rishis and yogis, the scientists, well, they are demonstrating these truths physically. They have discovered the body of Brahman. That is the protoplasm. It is one and the many. It is no form and no name. And yet it is all in the forms, all the names. And it is neither male nor female. It is neither micro nor macro. It is in both micro and macro, in the bacteria and in the whale. Now what more demonstration is necessary? And when you talk about this hologram, the body is a hologram. And many. By cloning, they have demonstrated that every cell can develop into an organism because the entire story is written down in the cell itself. So this is it. This is the message of the rishis. This is the message of the modern rishis. I would say science is a Mahabhagavata. In Bhagavata, God's leelas, His plays described, His miraculous feats are described. And here, the scientists are demonstrating practically, physically, the greatness of the Lord of this universe, Sachidananda Parabrahman. So miraculously great. It is demonstrated by the scientific discoveries they have made, and they themselves are now talking about the unity. Sarvam Shaktimayam Jagat is there. Discovery and irrefutable one. Nobody can argue with them. Protoplasm is real. It is there. It is physical. Anybody can see it if you have got a microscope. And it pronounces, announces, demonstrates the unity behind the diversity. Now, thank you very much. I seem to have to go take some minutes. Thank you very much.